That right there, that's a stock height 240SX. Those right here, these are coilovers. And I'm gonna put these on that and slam it. Guys, new day. Like I said, the first thing I wanted to do to the hatch, the S13, was put some coilovers on it, and I picked up a set of HSD coilovers. A few people I know actually do run these. I like the way they felt, and you know, I read good things about it. So we're just gonna get right into this. There's really no point waiting. It's a simple install, so I'm just gonna get the car all prepped up, as in on the jacks and, you know, all my tools and whatnot ready, and then we're just gonna get the coilovers on this thing. I'm not gonna, you know, I was about to say I'm not gonna slam it right now, but let's just see what happens, because, you know, I might just slam it. Coilovers definitely take the cake for one of the easiest mods to do on a car. I'll show you where I'm at right now. Car is up in the air. I have the rear part of it all taken apart. You just need to get under the cover to access the top nuts, and then down below, this on the bottom of the strut is how you get the bottom portion of the coilover out. So I already have one of the top nuts off. I do have the bottom one off. I'm gonna blast this up and put the new one in, and then we'll get started on the front left, and then we'll do the right side separately after. So I went with HSDs, like I was saying before. They've got 8K springs in the front and 6K for the rear. I honestly do want stiffer springs, so I'll probably go with Swift springs eventually. But just for the time being, I do want to feel them in stock form, and then we can make changes from there. So let's get these in. All right, the back is essentially all done. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty damn low. The front coilovers, I got them already maxed out, so I'm just gonna throw them in how they are, because the back is nowhere near maxed out and it's absolutely slammed. But I saw some pictures of the guy's car who had them on last, and the front sat a little bit higher than the rear. So I'm just gonna put them in, and if it is higher, I will raise the back to match the front, and just leave it as is so it sits and rides comfortably. Or I will find a way to lower these even more, possibly with springs, or if I can mess with the rebound or whatever, the top collar, to try and get it to sit a bit lower. That's probably what I'll do. So we're about to get the front strut out, driver's side, and then we're gonna get onto the passenger side after. So hopefully this is smooth and easy, just like the back was. Pray that nothing is stuck, seized, or gets stripped. But let's get started. All right, so the fronts are in. Just as easy, but quickly before I get onto the other side, I just want to show you what it takes. 2 bottom strut bolts, whatever you want to call them, top 3, and that's all it takes to get the front out. Much easier than the back. Not that the back is hard, it's just a little awkward, and positioning is weird. But I'm going to do the other side off camera, and then I will show you guys the full finished product as soon as that side's on. So let's get it on. Car's looking good already, making good progress, but we're almost done. Just wanted to pick up the camera quickly as I finish up on the passenger front side. Honestly, something about working on your favorite car you've ever owned is just making me so happy. It's looking so good. It's almost done, but I'm beyond excited with this car in general. I could just stand here and stare at it all day. Love it. All right, so it's all finished up. I'm looking at it right now, and I'm gonna be completely honest, it's gonna need some serious adjustments because, like I said, the back sits way lower than the front. But just 1 second and you'll get to see for yourself. Let me just get a good angle. Oh, that looks good. Like I said, the back is basically tucking, and it's like at least halfway on the coilover. It's not even close to all the way down. Front, on the other hand, I'm gonna have to get creative, but that's not really a big deal because for now, like I said, I'll either raise up the back to match the front, or I'll find a way to drop the front a little bit more. But I'm happy with, you know, with the process. Definitely not happy with how it sits right now, but you know, new coilovers always need adjusting. That's no big deal. So I'm gonna take it for a quick lap around the block, just kind of see how it feels, and I'll give you a final verdict. While I'm here picking up tools to go make adjustments on my coilovers, I just want to say yes, the Z will get some love soon, but honestly I'm just really enjoying working on the 240 and driving the 240, but eventually we'll get back to this because, like I said, drift season is around the corner, so long as this whole coronavirus thing doesn't postpone that. But I do need to get started on this car as soon as possible because there's a lot that needs to be done. But regardless, I'm gonna take all these tools right back to my house and we can get started on the 240. Hey, what's going on? So it is actually a new day. I didn't really end off the last video properly. At the end of the last clip I filmed, I was saying how I didn't like that the rear was lower than the front and that I wanted to fix that. I had said there was two ways I was gonna go about it. I was either gonna raise the rear to match where the front was sitting, or I was going to lower the front to match where the rear was sitting. But I'm honestly not too sure if the front coilovers have the ability to drop anymore. And I just think it's the way they're set up. I might have to get newer springs, like a 5-inch spring. I do want a higher spring rate all the way around, so I'll probably get springs for the coilover setup soon in general. But like I said, it's the same video. We're actually just gonna fix the alignment or whatever you want to call it, and then we can end it off there. So let me just show you real quick what I mean. The back of it is pretty low, right? It's tucking almost the entire tire, and then if you come over to the front, you'll see it's not quite there yet, right? It's just on the top of the tire. So the car does have a lean like that, which I absolutely hate. So I'm gonna fix it. Obviously, I do want the car to be as low as the rear is right now, but if I can't, I'll raise the back just so it looks proper, because it looks really ugly with the lean like this. And then when I can get some springs, or after I get, you know, my front lip and skirts and stuff, we could lower it back down to how low I want it to actually be. But for now, let's just jack the car up. I'm gonna take the front wheel off just to see if I can actually go lower in the front, and if I can, that's the route we're gonna take. By the looks of it, I do have some room, but I don't have too many options. I can either, I don't know if this is kind of sketchy, but I can get rid of this bottom collar and then just spin this as high up as I can get it, which honestly from here to here does look like enough adjustment to get low enough. Or I can just spin these up as high as they can go and raise this. But for now, I think I'm just gonna take it off the knuckle and go from there and just kind of see what I decide to do to try and get it lower. But by looking at it, I might be able to drop it some, so let's give it a shot, see what happens. All right, I'll tell you what I did. I actually dropped down the middle collar as low as it can go, and then I adjusted the preload collar and went as low as it can go. I did this on my Z, and it did drop it, and it still rode okay, and spring's still tight, which is great. It's not jangling everywhere, but because of how much I dropped it, I genuinely don't think it's gonna do anything at all. And unfortunately, if that's the case, I'm gonna have to go raise the rear. So let's put the wheel back on and just see if that did anything at all. I mean, it's lower. Is it low enough though? Absolutely not. It kind of sucks. It really sucks. Damn. This looks so good. I don't want to raise that. Shit. I mean, it's lower. It is. definitely is lower. It's covering the top of the tire now. But I want it slammed. Yeah, see that? See that gap over there? And we'll come around to this side. And I could tell the car's like tilted, but no gap on this side. I mean, it's there, but not as bad. Should I just do the same to the other side? And just see where it sits? I think that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, so I just finished adjusting the passenger front of the car, and I'm actually going to start on the passenger rear now. I didn't film the passenger front side because the lighting in the back part of my garage kind of sucks, but I lowered it as much as I possibly could. But just from the looks of it, I'm probably gonna have to raise the rears to get the rake that I want, which is no big deal, honestly. It's still gonna look good because it's way lower than stock, but it's just not slammed like I want it to be. But that's gonna come with time. So for now, let me just get started on the rear. I'll kind of show what's going on this part, then I'll do the other side off camera, and then I'll show you the final product after all the adjustments are done. Okay, rear's off, ready to go. Just gonna blast off this bottom nut here off the knuckle and spin the bottom of the collar downwards to go upwards, if that makes any sense. But let's get started on adjusting it. Not gonna raise it too high. I just wanna find the point that makes the car leveled. But let's raise it up, see what happens. So the rear's all adjusted now. I dropped it down a little bit, or up, as you could say. I used the width of this wrench here to measure how much of adjustment I made. When it was able to fit snug in between the collar and the bottom sleeve, if it would focus. Regardless, I'm gonna do the same on the other side and we'll see how it sits, but let's get it back together now. So of course, it can never be a simple job. I actually had to take out the driver's side rear because it was being a pain in the ass. Something about where it was sitting, I just literally could not spin it down. So I just took it out because it would have been easier than fighting with it. I'll make the adjustments on the coilover off of the car and then I'll just throw it back in. So let's raise this up. I already finished the other side. It's looking okay. It's not as, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but it's not as high as I need it to be, but whatever, I'm leaving it as is. I'm gonna do the same adjustment on this side of the car and then we'll leave it at that and we'll call it a day. So I just got finished dialing in the ride height on the coilovers and it looks way better. It's not perfect, but it looks way better. The car actually looks good, like really good. Yeah, the way it sits now, the nose is closer to the ground. Even though the front didn't actually really drop much fitment wise, the nose is pointing more down now that the rear is raised a little, so it just looks so much more dialed. The lighting sucks. But what I'm gonna do now is I wanna get a pig nose front lip and some side skirts. Don't know what I wanna do with the rear end when it comes to valences yet, but definitely a pig nose front, some side skirts. Gotta get this hood taken care of. Once I get those pieces done, we'll look into a 5-lug swap so I can get some wheels, or I might just see what 4x113 wheels I can get for the car. And then some tails. Type X tails would be nice. So I'm gonna wrap up the video here. As I just said, there's still stuff I need to do to this car, like the front lip, the side skirts, some tail lights, and the hood. Basically that just means more content, so make sure you subscribe so you can see when I upload those. And I'll be back, so thanks for watching.